Okay, in this series I'm going to be basically rebuilding some of the stuff I had done in Starlight, or yeah, in the Skyview. Can't even remember the damn name of the place. Yeah, I used to build a lot of my builds. I used to make like big, huge places and put a lot of beds in them and stuff like that. And I don't know. I've been taking a lot of, not taking, but I should say I've been getting a lot of ideas from a couple of the other builders I've been watching and I've been following on Twitter. Lois Clayton, she's she's hilarious and she's a doll. She's great to watch. I have her listed as one of my favorite channels in my YouTube channel area. If you were to go into that section, I can put a link to her channel on here. No Respawn is another good one. Davey over there. Vic, Draco Invictus, he does some good builds also. I've decided to try and make Starlight kind of like a, not a shanty town, but kind of close to it. Kind of got an idea from Davey on that one when he redid his sanctuary. I decided, you know what, instead of having all these settlers all living in one big freaking huge building, let's go ahead and make individual houses for them. And I figured Starlight was a good place for me to kind of test some of these things out, since there's so much flat area. Well, not extremely flat, but so much area to build in. And it's kind of one of my hubs because almost all of my supply lines basically spawn from Starlight, just because it's almost close to being in the center of the map. Yes, I'm on PC, so I have a lot of different mods. And this is actually after the Wasteland Workshop, so I do use a few things, but not a whole lot. Mostly I was just trying to get back to the basics of some of the building. So I have a lot of different choices in lights and stuff like that, and I decided to try and do this a different way. Instead of putting conduits all over the walls and stuff like that, since most of these little houses are small enough, all I had to basically use is, I forget what it's called, it's the pole basically. All you have to do is strap a wire to it because it acts as a conduit also. So sticking one on the ceiling of one little house will basically light the entire house. I might change that a little bit later, because one of my main reasons why I wanted to try and build this also, and you'll notice all these the staircases in the center, they're all lined off of the water purifying section in the center of Starlight. I have shack foundations surrounding it in a perfect square, which I had a long time ago built off of the movie screen that's in the background. So I kind of wanted to keep a symmetrical aspect to the entire area. So anytime I build something in here, I kind of base it off of that center section right there. Everything comes off, and you'll see me put up small floor areas to kind of get my bearings on where I want things. Like right here, I'm having an issue because I realized, yeah, I forgot I can't actually connect one of those to there. So I'm gonna basically pull it off of a little a fake walkway that I have basically suspended there. And all that stuff is basically going to be deleted. I don't know what the heck was causing me not to be able to put one right there. There's nothing below it, nothing above it. That wire sure as hell was not in the way. Come on, just go on over. There, no, there you go. So this is basically an example of what I was talking about, basically building off the center section. So instead of being cockeyed in different directions, this particular build I wanted to try and keep symmetrical to that center area. And one of the other reasons why I wanted to do this, because what I might end up doing is I'm probably going to create individual walkways over every single house so that guards can basically walk above the city if they need to, and making everything symmetrical off that line will allow me to tie those single tile floor pieces to the roofs of all the houses. And I figured, you know what, this might actually work by doing it that way, because before it was such a pain in the butt trying to get those little sections to kind of line up, even in curves. Now granted, in PC I have some different mods that I can use, these little boards that you can just basically lay on the ground, but in all honesty you can't really use them that well, especially with the settlers, because the settlers, there's no nav mesh for those boards. Here I'm using, it's not really a mod, but more of kind of like a keyboard shortcut. Got that off of, who did I get that idea off of? Evil something. I'll figure out his name and I can put his name in the description maybe, if I can figure out, if I can remember where I saw his name at. I'm subscribed to him, so it's essentially, it turns my numpad into a an axis that I can move any object in the game. I thought about putting it further back away, but I realized, you know, those bushes are just going to end up winding inside the house, so that's why I built it one more forward. Because even though I wanted to stay somewhat symmetrical, I also didn't want to make any of these houses in perfect rows. So that's one of the reasons why I use some of the different corner sections. Like in this one, I'm going to end up using, I wish the guys on console had this, and hopefully somebody will make a mod for it. It's one of my favorite pieces in the build. It's in the wood wall section, and I'll show you here in a second. Actually, I think I have it in another house over there, but I believe that I add one to this one also. No, put it in the center. And that's going to get in my way, so figured I wanted to keep it there just in case. It does actually come in handy a little bit later on. And I have different choices. See, I try to set it here. Do I keep it? Yeah, I do keep it. It's like a, well, you can see it. I don't know how else to explain it. Yeah, it's still in the way. Oh, no, it's not. You can set 3 of them against the wall, and it makes like this perfect kind of like section, but you can also use it on these flat walls, like I'm going to show you here. One goes there, you spin it, and one goes there. It's kind of like a half section flat, like one of the walls that jut out, but at the same time it's got a curve in it. Well, if you line it up right, it actually connects all together. And some of these, and I know other people have issues with some of these walls, just trying to get that one freaking corner piece. A little bit later I decide, you know what, I'm just going to use, in the PC, the Homemaker mod, they have quite a few different walls. See, that's a short one. One next to it is a tall one. But there's also ones that are tall that have like this extra border up at the very top. And those will basically fit into any section, so I realized, you know what, I need to start using those again. And I'm trying to keep with the whole ratty feel also, so yeah. When I first started building, I guess, I don't know, I'm assuming it came with the piece, it came with everybody, but I have a retexture for it. It'll basically make any wall look almost brand new, and at least brand new in wood form. Kind of liked using them at the beginning, but I started to realize, you know, this is the post-apocalyptic. You're not going to have perfect wood everywhere, so. Little sections. This is actually going to become kind of like a clinic, which I will, when I start actually decorating these houses, I do have another video. I'll have another video on that one. For some reason, it will not snap there, so gotta play around and realize, okay, I gotta make sure a settler can walk up that. No, too much of a lip. No, too much of a lip. No, it's gotta go up more. There you go, right there. So I've also been kind of curious if I'm even going to end up keeping these roofs. I might end up having to go for floor pieces up on the roofs, because I'm thinking about using that walkway. But I think I can make a way to kind of float a walkway above it, but at the same time make it look like it's supported. Fortunately, on the PC side, we have a lot of things that the Homemaker mod has thrown into the mix. A lot of brace supports, like triangle beams you can put underneath this stuff. In my work in progress video on Starlight, which is it's in the same playlist as this, or going to be in the same playlist, I show off some of the structural integrity poles that you can put underneath of it, just to kind of give it that feel that, you know, okay, it's not going to tip over on you. In all actuality, the roof would actually keep it from tipping, but still there's that suspension of belief. Here I'm trying to basically make individual little walls that, you know, kind of like a bedroom. Didn't really want to put doors inside, but I did want to make kind of corridor / hallway type of feel to it. And when I put the clinic inside there, I'm specifically going to assign a settler that's for that. She's even got a lab coat. Her bed all assigned specifically to her in there also. Pylon, that's what I was thinking of earlier. This one, since it's a little bit wider, I figured, okay, it's probably going to need 2, so I kind of stretch them out a little bit. And yes, my character has a jetpack on her. Kind of helps, especially when building for high places. I don't have to sit there and cycle through to put a set of stairs down or something. One of the other issues that you might see a little bit later on in certain sections where it's like, why don't you just jump? Because I have to put like a set of stairs down for just a small lip. I myself, I'm big on customization, and don't ask me why, but Bethesda hard-coded some stuff in there. I will not use Y, because I use a 360 controller. Even on the PC, I don't really feel like playing with a keyboard, because I like to sit back in my chair and play it. I will not use Y as jump. I'm sorry. Just not going to work for me. Never will. A is always got to be my jump. So I reassigned A to be my jump. Well, works fine in everything else. Option to activate stuff is still the Y key and all the other kinds of stuff. But when it comes to build mode, A is always for build, and Y is always for activating, or I guess in the console case, I'm not sure if you can actually customize that. I'm pretty sure you probably can. I don't know. I guess that you guys use Y to jump. I can't do that either. Since I reassigned it to A, I can't use A to jump because A is for build, Y is for attaching wires or for doing something else. So I can't jump when I'm in build mode. It's stupid, but just the way it is. There's not enough keys to do everything, I guess. That's why whenever you see me come out of build mode just to jump up something, that's the reason why. Yeah, this is another thing that PC mods will give you. Nicer beds. I know you saw a bunk bed in there, but the bunk beds aren't all that useful. They count as 2 beds, but 2 settlers cannot use them. Only 1 settler can use them at a time, so it's kind of pointless to even use them. Here's when I start to view. This is coming out way too much, so I'm going to use one of my favorite boards now. With the Wasteland Workshop, you guys now have a concrete pillar that will do the same thing. And for some reason, this would not snap underneath there. It snaps to a lot of different things. And what's nice about it, just like the concrete pillar in Wasteland Workshop, you place one, and if it's too high, you can always place another one underneath of it, and it will snap to it. So, I mean, sorry, but this is probably one of the best things, one of my favorite things in the settlement building is these structural pillars or columns. I have no idea why. I just like using them. And since it wouldn't snap, obviously you see me just bringing down the console and raising it up. It's like, why won't these snap? And I'm like, well, let's try some of the A-beams or Y-beams, or I don't know. I'm sure somebody will tell me what that is. I know it's a strut, but I know there's another name for it. Too big, let's go for it. And I was like, for some reason, there's a couple areas where it looks like it's snapping, but it's not snapping in the right spot. So I was like, yeah, screw it. One bad thing about having something like Homemaker for, like for PC mods, I know it's going to sound kind of dumb considering, especially with the console, you guys don't have this many options. I know it's kind of a crying shame to say there's too many options, but there's a lot of options. Almost too much. Cycling through the things endlessly gets kind of dumb sometimes. And I'm going to go ahead and cut it short here. Not cut it short, but I'm going to go ahead and end the episode here. Probably about 30 seconds. I start to work on this, or at least I'm going to start to clear it away. But I'm going to save that for the next episode. I'm going to make these usually, I'm going to try and keep them under 20 minutes just for the sheer fact of it's easier for me to, shorter time to render, shorter time to upload. Okay, that's about it. I will be signing off, and I'll see you in the next episode.